Hi, welcome back. In this video I will talk about the chart of account. How to build the chart of account, how to use this spreadsheet to upload your chart of accounts. But before that, what is the best practice to build the chart of account? The build the chart of accounts is not like what segments you are using, so we can go immediately to build it and that's it. No. So let's start to know how to build, or what is the best way to build your chart of account, because as you know, it's one way. After you build your chart of account and you make at least one transactions, you cannot make any change for your chart of account. Either change the label, decrease the segments, add a new segments. It will not be applicable once you make at least one transactions. So let's start. First of all, how to best design your chart of account, or COA. Either in Oracle Cloud, in Microsoft, or whatever. So it's like a best practice to build any chart of account. From a business perspective, you would assess current and future requirement. Current means in case of your organization currently using non-Oracle product or manual transactions, or Oracle product, and they are going to make upgrade or whatever. So you have to assess the current chart of account, segment, labels, digits, dependencies, labels, all of these, and the future, like as it is, what is the current and what is the future picture of the chart of account. Look to what? First thing, that design your chart of account to address accounting standards applicable to your business. So it's based on your business or the business of your organization. You have to build chart of account to address this business. Take this an opportunity to clean up potentially outdated chart of accounts, because as we said that in this case you will have to figure current figure and future figure. So it's your opportunity to clean up of the current chart of accounts to build a new future chart of account. Examine current practice to consolidate financial results, and how chart of account redesign can speed up this process in futures. Later we will talk about some of questions or whatever's you have to ask to get clear answers. Depends on that, you can or you start to build your chart of account. Identify future financial report needs, business matrices, KPIs for actionable business decisions. Structure your chart of accounts with recognizable, meaningful chart of account segments. Categorize your financial data logically to support balance sheet, profit and loss statement, income statement, and balance sheet. Design flexible, scalable chart of account to allow for business growth and change. Be careful not to overcomplicate your chart of account, or it will become hard for your finance staff to use. So don't try to make it complicated, just it simple. It's match with the business of the organizations. It's cover all of the segments. It's also include some of future segments to cover any thing can be happen in the futures. So you will keep these two or one future segments for like these cases. Decide on the key segments of your chart of account structure, the order in which to display them. That the first segment will be company, second segment product, third one is account, fourth one for example is line of business, future one, future two, intercompany, and the labels. You have also to discuss about these things with the organization. Most common order of segments, like start with company, cost center, and the natural account. as you know that, and this is interview questions, that is it possible to build chart of account without company, without natural account segment, without cost center? No. At least you have two segment label or two segments in any chart of accounts: company and the natural account segment. Cost center, it depends on your using expense, assets, whatever. So it's like optional, but you cannot build any chart of account without company and natural account segment. Here, as most common order for segments, start company, then cost center, and the natural account. It doesn't mean that I have to follow the same order in my organization. No, you can start by a company. You can after that make, for example, product, after that natural account, after that cost center. But this is like a recommend common from Oracle to company, cost center, natural account. Also, you most likely define another 3 or 4 segments to address. So at least these 3. After that, you can add whatever segments which is cover your business needs. That I need again to add another segment for intercompany, another 2 segments as a feature 1, feature 2, another segment for line of business. It's okay, it's up to your business needs. As you see here, LOP, line of business, product line, intercompany, locations, whatever. Ensure that you standardize your corporate chart of accounts worldwide, so it's understood by your finance staff for accounting. Because once you build the chart of accounts, this staff or finance staff will start working to enter the transactions. So if they not aware about these segments or whatever, so it will be difficult for them to register the transactions. So you have also to align all of these, that business needs, with the stakeholders, with the finance staff, that during the discussions, this is our segment and this is order of these segments or the sequence, this for this and this for this for label company, this for natural account. If there any dependencies, also you have to show all of this or highlight like this case to inform or to let the finance staff know that there is dependencies, there is all of these fields is required. Here in future segments, it will be like a default value until we using these future segments in the future. Minimize number and the length of a chart of account. This is very important point here. Up to 8 chart of account segments. It's recommended also by Oracle. Don't exceed 8 segments. Yani up to 10 segments. Don't make it 12 segments, 13, because by the end, during running the report or make inquiry or whatever, you will find a huge digits, because you build around 9 segments, 12 segments. The picture at this time, it will not be good. So try as you can that up to 8 segments. And length also don't exceed that 8 digit. Don't make 15 digit, 16 digit, because it will be also complicated for the finance staff, for the reports which will be generated and all of this. But as I told you, maybe up to 10 segments. Here also try to keep it not more than 9 digit or 10 digit. Value set for chart of accounts must use the value data type of character, because character, as you know, that you can add zeros, number, text or whatever. Value subtype is set to text. These two settings support values that are both number, character, which are typical in natural account segment values. If segment value contains characters, ensure that they are always uppercase. If segment value contain only numbers, ensure you 0 fill by default. This 0 fill by default, for example, if you build one segment with 7 digit and you enter value set values 6 digit. So if 0 fill, it will complete this 6 digit to be 7 digit by adding 1 0 and so on. This is the zero fill. Also it will be options during create the value set of the chart of account and the value set values. What next? If you define alphanumeric values, whether all letters or combination of letters and numbers in values, consider implications such as user may not benefit from reduced keystrokes afforded by the zero field by default setting, increased complexity when you define ranges of cross-validation rule, allocation rules, chart of account parameter for reports, where you finance users are accustomed to use numeric keypad to enter chart of accounts values, entering letters may slow them down. So here, don't make like a combination for the value set values, like the value set values like will be A01, A002. It will be complicated for all of the levels, finance staff levels, report levels. When you try to extract the value set values and try to make sorting or whatever, also it will be difficult. It will be difficult at a level of the technical to build the reports. So don't try to make like this combination. Child values should be at the same length within segments. Otherwise, sorting and display the chart of accounts values can be very confusing. Child of values that we have two levels, parent and child. We have to up to 9 parent values and child value only one level. So for these child values, it should be the same length within a segment. For example, segment is 8 digit, 7 digit, whatever. So it must be the same, because otherwise again sorting will be confusing for during displaying the chart of account values. Parent values within a segment can be different lengths than child. For example, I can build values. For example, I build this natural account segment for 10 digit. For parent, I can enter from 1 to 10, and also for a child. For parent, I can enter, for example, 5 digit, 7 digit, 8 digit, whatever. And for the child, I can keep it, for example, the 10 digit. And as you know also that for this digit number, for example, if I build a 10 digit, you have to build the values from 1 digit to 10 digit, but you cannot make it 11 digit. Align segment order between chart of account structure setup, definition, and display in user interface. This will minimize confusing. Define one or two spare segment in your chart of accounts to support future potential reporting needs. As you know that during building the chart of accounts for the current situations, you don't know what will happen in the future, right? So try to keep in your chart of accounts at least 2 segments as future segment, future 1, future 2. Don't make it 3 or 4. Also keep it at least 1 future segment, and it will be better if you keep it 2 futures, because maybe in the future they need to adding a new segment. For example, I am not purchased a project module, and I need to mention this project during the users or the finance staff register the transactions. So in this case, what we will have to do, yes, we have 2 future segments, so I can change one of them to make it like a project segment. And this project segment I can enter or define the value set values as a project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah 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 in these segments. So for any transactions the users or finance staff trying or going to enter the transactions, he will find a new segment like a project. So through these segments he can enter the project data. And also in case of from the scratch you find that there are some transactions is not it's cover some modules which this module is not purchased or not a license. So in this case, how to cover it? You can cover it through either DFF or through a segment of the chart of account. So this is the benefits of the future segments, either current you will using or in the future. Because as I told you before, once you build any chart of accounts and you do or create at least one transactions, you will not applicable to do any adjustment. خلاص, everything is finished. In case of you need to make any change, again you have to rebuild another chart of account. Avoid using short-lived or rapidly changing operational management segments such as customer or project. Using such segments will not be valuable as they could result in high volumes, potential performance issues. Here for customer or project, because for customers you will enter a lot of values for the customers. Maybe every day you will create customer values in the segment. So it will be potential, the performance issues will be there. For project also, if you, in case this project every day you build or create a lot of projects, so again it will be the performance will not be very good in this case. But in case of you create a project from time to time like this, it will be okay. But for any segments, whatever customer, project, supplier, in any segments, don't try to build a segment which is every day you are going to create a values, because there will be a huge values and the performance will be raise issue at that time. Choose delimiter values. These delimiters that between the segments, either dot, slash, whatever, underscore, whatever. These are delimiters for your account combinations. Carefully, so this doesn't conflict with the segment values. For example, if your segment values frequently contain periods as a full stops, don't use a period as your segment separator, right? So in this case, I can use dot, underscore, slash, and so on. And also these delimiters, you have to discuss it with the finance team to inform them that this delimiter between the segments, like a dot, slash, or whatever. Minimize data entry errors with account alias. This is a very good options that you can use instead of the value set segments values. You can use alias that the users will use the alias instead of selecting the value set values. As you see here, this is a code combination. Segment separators is zeros, slash, whatevers, and the users, instead of using or selecting segment one by one, he can select direct the alias. This is alias also is very good to minimize the mistakes, the errors, whatever. Also you can also keep in your mind these options during make a discussion with your finance team, that instead of let the user select the code combinations, he can select the alias. So for each code combination you have to raise or create the alias, and the finance teams must be aware about the alias value list of values, so he can make the transactions with the correct alias. Else it will be optional. You cannot use the alias, and you can let the users select the value set values, but take care for the alias, because alias means code combination. Code combination means like what if in case you build cross validation or related value set or dependent value set, maybe it will be raise an issue at that time, because in this case you have to build the alias which is matching with all of these restricted or all of these security rules. It must match with cross validation, it must match with dependent value set, it must match with related value set. Okay, that's it. Assign labels to chart of account segments to automate features and improve reporting. There are balance segment values. System automatically balance accounting journals by BSV as balancing segment values. So labels means it's very important to assign at least 2 labels, as we said before: balancing segment, natural accounting segments. For the others, like feature label, intercompany label, cost center label, it's up to you, but at least you have to assign the BSV and natural account segment. Primary balance segment mandatory, usually represent real world first party legal entity, typically produce report by legal entities such as balance sheet and income statement or profit and loss statement. Second and third balancing segments, it's option that usually represent management entities. Define intercompany balancing setup to minimize the risk of unbalanced journals. These unbalanced journals, what does it mean? That in case of you have a lot of values in the primary balance segment as a value set values, so it will be better to define intercompany balancing setup to make or minimize the risk of unbalanced journals in case of the users are going to make a journals between company 1, company 2, companies 2, company 3. So in this case, the journals will not be unbalanced because it's different in primary balance segment. So in this case, you have to cover it through intercompany balancing setup to make a balance between these different balancing segments, which is you have a lot of ledger, a lot of legal entity, and for the assign balancing segments, you are going to assigning either to ledger in case of you making to are you going to make only adjustment journals, or you assigning balancing segment to the legal entity. So in this case, you will make journals or whatever, which in this case will not be the journals will be unbalanced, and they assign this business unit to the legal entity, which is assigned to the balancing segment value. Don't use segment already qualified as natural account or intercompany segment in any of these 3 BSV. This is, I think, it's straightforward warning point here. Second one is intercompany segment. This is intercompany segment label is optional, as I told you, but primary balancing segment, as you see here, is mandatory. It's not optional. If, however, you define more than one legal entity in your ledger, then you had usually include intercompany segment in your chart of account structures. In case of you are going to build intercompany solutions and you have a lot of ledger, a lot of legal entity, and for each legal entity you assign balance segments or whatever, and in this case you will make and use either now in the current situation or in the future the intercompany transactions between these different legal entity. So it's usually to include intercompany balancing segment in this case. So during the finance team creating the intercompany transactions, he have to indicate that this intercompany between this company and this company and so on. Represent counterparty to the primary balance segment values. Configure intercompany rules due from due date to generate intercompany accounting entries. Due from due to represent rules between the primary balance segments and other legal entities in the intercompany segments. As you know, during configure intercompany, you have to indicate from this legal entity to this legal entity, the account payable will be this, the account receivable will be this, and the same again in a different line between, for example, legal entity 2 to legal entity 1, and so on. Intercompany rules create additional balancing lines for each unique. As you know, for any unbalanced journals, the system automatically will generate 2 balanced journal lines to make this journal as balanced, because it's between 2 different primary or balance 2 different BSV as balancing segment value. When you configure intercompany rules, system automate intercompany accounting entries. Use a separate, this is very important point here. Now I build a balance segment value set values and the intercompany. Some of people using the same value set of the balancing segment in intercompany. By logic is okay, but here's a tip that use a separate value set for the intercompany segment instead of sharing it with the primary balancing segment. That's why you can define separate segment value set rules for each of the two segments. Furthermore, data access set to the primary balance segments values set would be secure. For example, if you are going in the future make any secure on the balance segment value set, and you already assign the same value set of the balance segment value to the intercompany segment, so it will be the apply, or this security will apply to both balance segment and the intercompany. So from the beginning, try to make a two separate value set. It's very easy to make it different. It's very easy to make a two different value set value set for balance segment and intercompany, and whatever the values you will put it here as a values, you can put it the same in intercompany, because in the future you can do this as a data access set or whatever. In case of Oracle enabled the security by balancing segment, that this user can see only this balance segment value, company 1, company 2, and this user can see only balance segment 3 and 4. So in this case it will be helpful to make it easy, different than you assign the same value set to the intercompany and or the same value set for BSV and the intercompany. What else? Balance segment value in accounting flexi field doesn't restrict list of value to the ones associated to the legal entity only. Show all available values. This is also the issues what I mentioned there, that I have balance segment value segment, and I have a lot of value set values. For example, company 1, company 2, 3, 4. This balance segment doesn't restrict a list of values to the ones associated to the legal entity only. It will show available values. For example, if I need this user to see only company 1, company 2, you cannot do it now. This user, all of your users will see all of the values of the company 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The issue is happening in all financial supply chain cloud applications, because this is intended functionality to show all balancing segment values assigned to the ledger, even so they are not assigned to the legal entity that they are using. Validation is done at ledger level, not legal entity level, because in this case, as I told you, once you build the balancing segment, you will assign the balancing segment either to ledger or legal entity. So here validation is done at ledger. As described for the following example, there can be chart of accounts that has balance segment values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ledger has two legal entities attached it to legal 1, legal entity 2, 3. If legal entity 1 has 1 and 2 assigned to it, legal entity 2 has 3 and 4 assigned to it, ledger would automatically have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4 assigned to it. Solution is to validate balance segment value against the ledger. Whenever transaction is entered, the list of values of the code combination in all the payables, receivables, inventory forms which can impact accounting show only 1, 2, 3, 4. It will not choose 0, 5 because it's not assigned to legal entity, and also you cannot restrict it by the legal entity that these users can we can show to him only 01 and 02 and this user 03, 04 and so on. No, all of these values will be showing. Whatever which is balance segment is not assigned to any legal entity, only this note will be showing to the user. Natural account segments, assign is mandatory to only one segment. Don't assign the same label to more than one segment. This ensures that the segment set labels cannot be set with another label. Natural account segment number is portion of the chart of account structure, identifies what financial activities is in pure accounting terms. Your natural account should align with your financial statement. It supports profit loss, balance sheet reporting, that as you know, 1 for assets, 2 liability, 3 owner equity, 4 revenue, 5 expense, and so on. Identify natural account segment values to classify transaction, asset, liability, equity. Assign account type to each natural account segment values, and try to avoid misclassified accounting. For example, if we have a range for 2 assets, and by mistake I assign one of these assets like a liability and make a transactions, it's like be a misclassified account. I make another videos for how to correct misclassified account to correct this situation. System transfer or balances with account type revenue expense to REV or retained earning accounting at the start of the each fiscal year. If you have defined multiple balance segment with a ledger, CloudGL populate retained earning account for each balancing segment value. If you have 3, 4, 5, so for each balancing segment values, the system will populate retained earning account for each of them. You improve your user expenses if you plan your natural account values numbers in logical order of asset, liability, equity, as well as revenue expense. So note that for certain countries that may be not visible where the regulation are highly prescriptive. Cost center segment value. This is usually represent department, division, or LOP or line of business. While it's an optional segment, you need to the cost center segment label for key features to work in assets expense approval process. Example that capture the default cost center of expense report on the employee assignment, identify cost center manager, route expense reports to the current manager for approval. So what is the benefit of this cost center? As we saw that assets, it's work, expenses also, and approval process. Approval like as you saw here, expense report, and capture default cost center for expense report on the employee assignment, and cost center also for the assets. Reevaluation gain or loss track. You can assign label to one or more segments as a reevaluation gain or loss track segment label. This track reevaluation for foreign currency conversion rate, changes between transactions accounting, and reevaluation dates. Like I make now transactions with rate 5. By the end of the same periods, the rate changes to be 5.5 or 7 or whatever. So it's like you can track these conversion rate changes through this label. Also track up to maximum 5 distinct segment of reevaluation gain or loss. You had already used minimum one of the one of the primary balance segments, so that leaves 4 segments. Don't assign reevaluation track segment to the natural account or intercompany segment. This is because natural account balance from the basis of reevaluation, and also intercompany segment serve a specific purpose as explained above. Custom label. Oracle OTBI can reference custom segment label. For example, you define a custom label for the account class to classify a specific natural account. You have to define an OTBI and include the custom label for reporting. In case of you need to define a different custom label, these custom labels, one of the useful or one of the benefit of it is that you can build OTBI full reports based on this custom label. If not, خلاص no need to create a custom label. Chart of accounts. As you know that we have chart of account in instance and structure. In instance is that it's value set and segments and values and combinations. After you create the values, you can create account combination, either manual or automatic. Segments for the chart of account structures, what is the rules, the security, cross validations, and what is the segment label, the order of the sequence, and delimiter or separator between the segments. Once you begin using chart of accounts, making changes to its fundamental attributes is neither recommended nor supported. This includes your chart of account segments, including segment label, as well as other characteristics of those segments. Because before of building your chart of accounts, you have to ensure that everything is okay, everything is matching, everything is covered, the business needs, finance teams, stakeholders, all of the organization staff is aligned, or all of them agree on the chart of accounts segments and figure, because once you build it you cannot make any change, and also it's not recommended by Oracle. For the chart of accounts structure and instance, as you know that in Oracle General Ledger, chart of accounts module is framed around the concept of chart of account structure, for which one or more chart of account structure instance can be created. Later I can show you one example on how to or in which case I can build a lot of chart of account instance under only one chart of account structure. As you know that chart of account structures, it defines the key attributes of your chart of account. These attributes is number of segment, segment sequence, segment name, segment prompt, segment label. For example, natural account and primary balancing segment and default value set. For the chart of account structure instance is exposed in user interface process. By default, chart of account instance inherits all of the attributes of the chart of account structure, meaning that all instances of the same structure share a common shape and have the same segments in the same order. However, at the chart of account instance level, you can override default value set assignment for your segments and assign unique account hierarchy that determines the parent and child relationships between value set values. At the chart of account instance level, you can determine whether to generate new account combination dynamically instead of creating them manually. Example of in case of I have one chart of account structures and I need to build a lot of chart of account structure instance. For example, here that again this is the model around structure and structure instance. For example, that your company, for example, Infusion Corporation, is multinational that operates in the US and the UK. Infusion has purchased Oracle Cloud ERP solution, including GL and all of the Oracle Fusion Cloud subledgers. You are sharing a commit to discuss that creation of a model for your global financial reporting structures, including your chart of accounts for both US and UK operations. So in this case, you have to one like Infusion Corporation as a financial chart of account structure, and under this chart of account structures, you have to build two chart of account structure instance, one for UK, one for US. And it depends on the changes, you will build these two different instances, and for each instance you can build whatever the delimiter. This allow to dynamically create the combination. This not this the default values will be like this not this security enable, this not, and so on. Before that, just let's get into application to show you how to build the chart of account. Chart of accounts is very easy to build it through manual as a user interface, but in this case I need to show you how to define it through the spreadsheet. So as you know, just you have to log in and just after you enabling the offering and assign the proper rules, shop rules to your users, you can go to navigate to setup and maintenance and just go to global search, just select financial and go to global search from this right, and just create chart of account or just create chart of just search. You can go to down here, create chart of account, ledger, legal entity, business unit in a spreadsheet. Just open it, it will down. Once it's downloaded, I can open file and remove the, just right click and properties and unblock, apply OK, and you can open it. It's just open here. As you know that we have a lot of tabs here. First of thing, you have to fill all of these tabs. Either you are going to upload only the chart of accounts, or business unit only, or legal entities and the companies, or financial sequence. So let's start. This is for any FBDI or ADFDI, whatever. There is some restrictions, instructions. Sorry, you have to create it if you're not aware about how this work. If okay, خلاص. First of thing, you have to go to chart of account. Here, chart of account, calendar, and ledgers. As you know that for any whatever is asterisk or here like star, it's like required. So in case, what is the name? For example, I can name it is Mo Salah, for example. What is the currency? For example, I will use USD. It's like the here chart of account, calendar, and ledgers. What is the segments? What is the labels? What is the display width? What is the currency you will using? What is the period frequency? Is it monthly, weekly, whatever? What is physical start date? All of these things, I think you know. Either you define it from here, or you are going to define it manually. But the first most important thing is natural account segments, which is value set values of your chart of account. So let me try USD. Period frequency, I will make it monthly. Adjustment period, are you going to make adjusting period or not? This adjusting period it's just for adjusting transactions. These adjusting periods, it will not appear in your subledger. It's only appearing in GL only. For example, if I have 12 months plus 1 or 4 or whatever adjusting periods. These adjusting periods, the same, you can open, you can close, you can whatever, but during enter the transaction in subledger levels, you will not find, or you will not see this adjusting period. You will find only during enter the GL journals. Okay, so either quarterly, so after each quarter you will find, or none, or one in mid, one in year end, one at the end, whatever. I will not using in adjusting. And what is the first start? For example, first 24. What is the segment? As you know, we said company. This is our first one. What is the segment label? You have to assign primary balance segment. Is it short prompt comp? What is the display width? Like a digit, I will book 2. What is the second one? I will line of business. Are you going to assign any label? Yes or no? This is up to you. And or I can make it, for example, cost center, and assign the label cost center. And also this is optional, is not required. And what is the prompt? CC. What is the display for? What the third one is natural account, and the here label natural account segment, and here account, and it will be 6 digit, for example. And again I will, for example, feature 1. Here also I think there is a label for features. No. Okay, I will put it feature 1, and this is will be 4, and feature 2 the same 4 digit, and feature and 4. This is our segment. This is the segment label. This is the short prompt display width. After that, what is the business unit? You can enter the business unit. What is the default legal entity? Also I can put it legal entity. Companies and legal entities. Here, what is the companies? What is the, for example, it will be, we put 01 because our company digit is 2, so I will put 02. Here Mo Salah مثلا company. What is the address? For example, because it's parent, no problem. So I can put child, for example, this 00, this 01. I can enter identifier. What is the country? United States, whatever. What is the address line? What is the city? What is the reporting registration number? And what is the report unit? This registration number. Natural account segment. This is the value set values of the natural account segments. Before of that, just let me enter the financial sequence. What is the payable invoice sequence? It will be annually, it will be monthly, you will not never using sequence. If I'm making, for example, monthly, so I will put 1. What is the meaning of restart? Each month the initial value will be 1, but in case of you make it annually, every year the initial value will be 1. Like this monthly sequence, you are going to make a monthly sequence. If you using annually, it will be annually sequence. Never you will not using sequence. So I will put all of them monthly. It's like the sequence, and also it's required all of these steps you have to fill it. Either you will upload it through a spreadsheet or not. For example, 1. Okay. Here. This the natural account value set values. As I told you, we have at least up to 9 parents that you can enter. That this parent, we said that this is 4. We said what natural account segment is a 6 digit. Okay, so here you can using from 1 digit to 6 digit. You cannot using 7 digit. So for the parent 9, for example, I can put it 4, or I can put, for example, 1, and for the parent 2, and for parent 7, and so on. You got my point? And so on. Or I can only using like this from parent 5. I have up to parent 5 only. After that, I start to build my child. For example, this asset. So again, I can put, for example, another child, parent, sorry, this like liability, this asset, and again under this parent, I will put this child as liability, and again 3000, and 4, and 5 for expenses, and so on. This revenue. And this I will put rev, and here this for example, this owner equity, sorry, owner equity, and this expense, and this expense, and so on. So this like a hierarchy. It's like for a reporting wise. By the end, if your manager or finance teams need to see the build the hierarchy, which parent under which parent, which child under which child, and so on. This is the hierarchy. You have to up to 9 parents. You have only 1 child. After that, you have to assign the account type, like this assets, like this liability. This is the labels. For example, it's like any random data. These assets, so I can build assets, so I can, this is one is delete. I can come here, this is a liability, owner equity, revenue, and some cases maybe ask you to make it like a top of the expense, like a parent of the expense type. I now just need to delete this. Here one's a question. This is the natural account. What about the other segments? You have also to fill it here. Before I show you how to fill it, just let me try to validate. Validate means the system will check that everything is okay, all of the required fields is filled, there is no any wrong. It's like validation. Try to make validate. Here validation report, there are a lot of errors. First of one, that date must be not prior to the year of 1950. Just either click here to go come back to the physical start year, or just come back to here. Here is the format: months, day, year, months, day, year. So come back here. So I will put it like this, and here it's highlighted in yellow, which is the error in this area. So let's come back again and try to make validate. Here first issues is resolved. What about else? Cost center. Worksheet of cost center segment doesn't exist. Please add segment sheet button. This is what I told you before, that what about the values? Set values for the other segments. Again, you have to do what? Just add segment sheets. Here you will find first issues 2, 3. Related to what? Related you that you still not enter the values for the other chart of account segments. Just add segment sheets. Notice here what will happen. It's the added what? Added cost center, feature 1, feature 2. So let me go to cost center and add the values. Also again you have to enter parent and child. Cost center, how many segments? 4, and natural and the same 4. So I will keep it the same. Go to cost center, keep it copy. I will put it the same in feature 1 and feature 2, and so on. If you have a lot of values, you can base. Again, I can come back to make a validate. It must be this yellow highlighted. It must be resolved now. Let me try. A child duplicate zeros. Okay, let me come back here. Sorry, it must be like 1 because this is duplicate, and again it also will be here, and also it will be here. Let me try again to validate. Enter values for the segments, like a description, where here the values, any names, asset. Again validate. Now it's decreased. Which for the values that exceed segment. Let me go to this field. This what we said for this segment, future 2 4 digit, right? I told you what? I told you can enter from 1 to 4, but you cannot enter 5. This is what I told you before. Here 1 2 3 4 5, so I can enter 1, I can remove 1. Again validate. It must be decreased, removed. خلاص. Legal entity name in companies and legal entity should be used. Let me go to here, this legal entity here, right? And you enter a legal entity name here, a different than whatever using there. Go to right. Let me take this to this one. Let me try to validate. Still the same. Let me enter it again. Let me try to validate. Okay, this one. طيب what about the others? Let me keep it. Account type, owner equity, it must be what? Retained earning account. Just come back to the natural account segment. Here, this one, that, go to down, you will find the retained earning account segment. Go to down, here, this one. Again, come back to validate. It's removed. What about the revenue? As I told you, you have to put top parent values, top expense for revenue and expense. Again, come back to the revenues. What is the revenues? I will make it top revenue. Go to revenue. Here, top revenue parent. The same, we will put it for expense, top revenue or top expense. Go to expense. Top operating expense. Let me try to validate, and so on. Now it's gone. Here the owner equity must be equal to assigned to the child of account. Okay, come back to the child, and the child here, this one. Is there any retaining earning account? Revenue. This. Again, validate. Gone. Now initial value, enter the required value should not be zero whole number. Go to here. What is the monthly? Again 1. Validate. It's 2 removed. Account entities, owner equity retained, expand account must be assigned to the child, and to one child of account. Retained earning, owner equity. Again, come here. This one, this is revenue, so I have to enter revenue. Sorry for that. And again, to validate. Account type must be assigned to the child account. Okay. Come back to the natural account here. Owner equity. Let me try to validate. Okay, let me, because I assigned to different revenue, owner equity. Let me validate. Everything is resolved. Just legal entity named when used in companies and the legal entity sheet should be used. Just come back to here. You will find the legal entity. I don't know, I think this is not the same because this is the name. Let me try to validate. Okay, let me take this. This is the name. It's named like here, it's not required anyway. Just come back here to put it. Try to again validate. Now validation is succeeded. What is the benefit of that? That before or once you build your rapid implementation as Excel sheet, validation report as a tab will be generated. After that, you have to every time you have to validate to minimize all of these issues until you found or got this message. Once you generated, after that I need to review. This is the like a review of the your report, revenue, service, whatever, total revenue, and so on. After that, you have to come here. Once you complete the validate and the validation report is completed successfully and you resolve all of the issues, you have to generate chart of account files and ledger and legal entity files. Or you can generate only chart of accounts, because you will only using this sheet like to upload value set values. For the ledger, legal entity, business units, you can define it manually, because in case of you have only one ledger, one business unit, one legal entity, so no need to raise it or to create it through rapid implementation. So again, once you validate, try to generate chart of account files. I will generate files. It will like zip file. I will save it in my, for example, downloads. This is chart of account Salah. That's it. The others, the same way you can generate ledger, legal entity, business unit. In case of you need to upload it also through the systems, you will also, the system will generate a zip file, and also I will put it here like financial common. Okay. After that, you have to import these files in Oracle. Just come back to system, navigate to the monitor process, schedule a new process, upload chart of accounts. I think chart of account import, chart of account import file. Import chart of account mapping, no. Let me make import. Import validate chart of account mapping segment rules for the specified, no. Go to come back again, setup maintenance. I think it is there in the same global search. Import chart of account. Import chart of account or chart of accounts import. Chart of account. Upload chart of accounts. After that, okay, system will ask you what is the choose file. You will select the zip file which you already defined before in downloads. This is my zip file of chart of accounts, and submit. Once you submit, I think it's take like 15 minutes until it's either succeeded or completed earning. So let me pause the videos until this finished. After that, you can also have in the same way, just navigate to the global search. You will find also that upload. Let me try to upload. Upload ledger, legal entity, balance segment, balancing units. Business units. Again, it shows the zip file of the common financial entities, and open and submit. But I will not run it now. Let's keep the first one finished. After that, we can check the status. Let me pause and we can continue. As you see here, that most of them is succeeded, either maintain chart of account hierarchies. At the same time, I duplicate the tab and go to manage chart of account structure, search by move. I find that my chart of account structure and the instance is built. Just I select my one and edit to see my segments. As you see, company, cost center, natural account, natural account, feature 1, feature 2, with the prompt label segment 1 enabled, and so on. In case of you need to check the value set values, this is a chart of account also structure. You can find it here, like Mu. You will find also this one, the same, Mu Salah, Mu Salah, Mu Salah. This is what I build. In case of you need to check value set values, just navigate to the chart of account value set values and check everything that either search by code company, that's company Muhammad Musalah. Search, you will find no problem, I can put here, search this one, check the values, you will find search, you will find our two values. This is how to build chart of accounts. Here also I need to mention one thing. Until now there is no dependencies of the value set. Dependencies means that you have company account and sub account, for example. You cannot make these sub account segments dependent on the account segments. So until now, maybe tomorrow, maybe after this video, maybe after 1 month, it will be applicable. But what is the alternate solutions? That you can using related value set. Related value sets, it's like dependent, that you will select 2 segments and you will tell the system that these segments values depends on these segments values. But take care of this related value set, that for each time you create or adding a new values for any of these segments, you have to add it also them in the related value set. Let me try, I not remember from where. Here, see here, related value set. Just select again the general ledger, search. You will also select the value set good, whatever Musalah or whatever one of these, and go to related value set. For related value set, you have to enter what is the first segment, first of thing, what is the related value set code, for example Musalah company, and what is the related values. Here, description and value related to which one. This is the related value set, which is dependencies between value set segments. This is all about of chart of accounts, how to build chart of accounts. Before to build or how to implement, because the easiest way to how to configure, but before of that you have to know the concept, the how to build, what is the recommended, what is the best practice, and also the same way you can upload the zip file of the legal entity business unit companies. Again, waiting the succeeded of the schedule process, and again once it succeeded you can navigate to the application user interface to check that everything is uploaded successfully. Thanks for watching. Good luck.